guys, so today I'm gonna go ahead and dye my hair, and as you can see my hair right now is currently teal and it's basically faded because I used to have red hair, and my red that I use ends up actually lifting your hair, so it actually kind of bleaches at the same time as dyeing it red. So if you don't dye it and let it wash out, it turns a caramel color, which you guys saw in my last video that I had like a caramel color. So it was easier to dye this tempera dye that I used. The one I used was called PRAVANA, that's the brand, and it's tempera dye. It's supposed to be a darker blue, but for some reason it turned out teal and also greenish and stuff, so it was fine, but it washed out within one wash, and it's supposed to usually be 8 to 10 washes. So right now I'm going ahead and putting some Vaseline around my ears and everywhere so I don't get dye on it. This is a tempera dye, so it's not that intense. It will wash off of your skin very easily as compared to like a actual dye, but still, just to be safe, I want to like get it on there just to be safe. So that's the Vaseline on there. So the dye that I'm actually going to use is called Sparks. I'll show you guys that in a minute. So you're going to need a bowl. You're going to need a brush. And mine has a sharp end at the end, but you don't need to use that one. And that's a tube wringer, so it helps me take out the dye from the tube. And that's the dye, and it is called Electric Blue by Sparks. So the color like looks about purpley blue. You're also going to need some gloves just to make sure you don't get it on your hands. And you're going to go ahead and open the color and pour it into the bowl. And there's a little opener on the end, like when you open the lid, you'll see that you could just, once you open it, when you flip it, there's a little opener that you can punch a hole into the tube, and it opens it. And then you just use a tube wringer, as I'm doing right there, to pour it out. And then you're going to go ahead and put it in the bowl and go ahead and dye your hair. Now keep in mind, since this is a tempera dye, I'm not using any kind of peroxide, so you don't need to be using any kind of peroxide. However, if your hair is red, black, or dark brown, it might not take. So because this is a tempera dye, it usually takes either bleached hair. So I had pretty much kind of like bleached hair because my red had faded out to bleach color, like a caramel color. But or if you have blonde hair, if you have light hair, it will take. But it's just like the intensity of it, depending on how light your hair is, it will take. So you'll see how mine comes out. Mine doesn't come out like a bright blue or anything like that when I dye it. But so I went ahead and poured it in, and I'm going ahead and dyeing it. So I've shown you guys before in my previous video how to do all this. I will go ahead and link that video on as well, just because it is a little bit more, I feel, detailed. But anyway, either way, basically I just take different partings of my hair, open it up, and like just dye it all the way through. I am very messy with this because I do a reverse ombre sort of look, so I don't get all the color. First of all, I only dye half my head. I don't dye the rest of it, the dark brown. That's my natural color at the bottom. I don't dye that, so I only dye the first half of my head. And I told you guys I will make a proper video of me dyeing someone else's hair so I can show you the right way of dyeing hair. It's really hard to do it to myself that way, the proper way, but I will eventually have a video like that for you guys. So yeah, again, this is a tempera dye, so keep in mind it comes out within 8 to 10 washes, and but it is a really pretty dye and a really pretty color. So yeah, I'm just going ahead slowly putting it in. I'm just fast forwarding this obviously because I don't want to take forever for you guys for this video. But yeah, just keep slowly putting it in, getting all the color in, and if you need help to see it, I'll use like a mirror in the back. I'll show you guys that in a little bit, but to make sure that you get all the color. Yeah, but when this does fade, it will fade a little bit to green eventually, but hopefully this dye will be a better dye, because the dye that I previously used, it just faded in like one wash, and that's just horrible. So, and it was never even this blue when I first dyed it. It was like a lighter color. That's why I never showed you guys that one. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up all of this, and then once it's done, you leave your hair. I leave it, because it's a tempera dye, normally like the permanent dyes, I leave it about 30 to 45 minutes. This one, I left it for an hour and a half. Again, be careful when you do stuff like this. If you need any help or anything like that, go to a professional before you dye your hair. Ask away, ask questions, ask me. But everyone's hair is different. Sometimes a professional has to actually see it, so I might not be able to tell you all the answers. But like, don't leave it on so you, like, I don't want anything to happen to your hair where it falls out, depending on how sensitive your hair is. I know mine can take an hour and a half of this tempera dye. That's why I left it in there for so long. But you guys don't necessarily do that. Usually 30 minutes is safe, 40, 45 minutes. You have to kind of try it out. So if you don't have really like fine hair or anything like that, if your hair is able to handle it, just checking with the mirror, as I told you guys before, making sure I got everything. Obviously I was looking at a mirror in front of me and behind me. So Anyway, so yeah, I'm just finishing that up right there. But yeah, so be careful when you guys are dyeing your hair. If you are too young to do this, get professional help, or if you've never done anything like this before, I would advise you talking to a hairstylist before you actually dye your hair. So yeah, so after I did that all, I'm just rubbing in everything else and then cleaning the sides, whatever I got on there. I did get a little bit on my neck, which is fine because as I told you guys before, it's a temper dye. It will wash out when I wash my hair. It won't stay on my skin. So now you just leave it. I left it for about an hour and a half. I'm just checking to make sure that I got every single angle. Alright guys, so once you feel like everything is good, then you leave it. And then after your whatever time you want to leave it for, like I left it for about an hour and a half, then you wash it off. So there you can see me washing it off. And I don't use shampoo when I do this because I don't want to like risk losing the color. Because again, I told you guys after 8 washes, it does wash out. So I just basically rinsed it, like watered it a little bit as much as I could. Some of the dye was still in there. As long as it didn't look weird on my head, then what I did was I did condition it. And then I let it dry and then I fixed it up. So I will show you guys a picture of what the outcome is. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.